In plants and factories all over the country, this was a common sight at quitting time not so long ago. Today, we see a different scene. Women have joined the men in the production lines, and the percentage of women in industry is expected to be much higher very soon. Millions of women who have never before been employed in industry are now enlisted in the nation's labor forces. They're stepping in wherever they are needed to do a man's job. Women in general are not as strong as men, but with the right equipment adjusted to their capabilities, they can do just about the same work as men. Their employment, therefore, requires all the health and safety precautions necessary for men, plus some extra measures. Their part in the war effort is very important, but their understanding of basic safety rules and good health habits is just as important as the turning out of the thingamabob that's going to win the war. Who are these women? Where did they come from? They worked in restaurants. They were the homemakers who prepared meals for their families. They were the mothers who raised boys and girls to become fine men and women. They worked in offices. They liked fun and music and peace. But a couple of madmen came along and made them angry. Some sent their menfolk to active duty and then took jobs to help the war effort. From all walks of life, they came to help make secure our way of living. Who are these women? We are these women.
Any bonds today, bonds of freedom, that's what I'm selling. Any bonds today, scrape up the most you can. Here comes the freedom man, asking you to buy a share of freedom today. Any stamps today, we'll be blessed if we all invest in the USA. Here comes the freedom man, can't make tomorrow's plan, not unless you buy a share of freedom today.
Mary, you're supposed to wear a cap when working near a drill press.
Well, why pick on me? The other girls aren't wearing their caps.
Look, the rule book says wear a safety cap. So put your cap on.
Now, if she had been a man, he wouldn't have laid down a safety rule so arbitrarily. You know, Joe, you've got to tell them the why of every rule, particularly women. Now, suppose he had handled it in this way.
Mary, your hair was just about 2 inches away from the thrill chuck. And that's why we asked you to wear a cap, so that your hair don't get caught.
Oh, gee,
You see, rules are here to protect you and the other girls working around you.
oh, gee, I saw some of the other girls, and they weren't wearing any caps.
Right, but they're not working with machines. They just sit at a bench and assemble things. Nothing dangerous to them or the people nearby.
You know, I never thought of it that way before.
You have your cap with you, haven't you?
Yeah. Okay, I get it.
A foreman will always have the eternal feminine to contend with, Joe.
All the day long, whether rain or shine, she's a part of the assembly line. She's making history, working for victory. Rosie, brrr, the riveter, keeps a sharp lookout for sabotage. Sitting up there on the fuselage, that little frail can do more than a male can do. Rosie, brrr, the riveter. Rosie's got a boyfriend, Charlie, Charlie, he's a Marine. Rosie is protecting Charlie, working overtime on the riveting machine. When they gave her a production need, she was as proud as a girl could be. There's something true about red, white, and blue about Rosie, brrr, the riveter.
In our Women's Bureau investigation, we find women here, as with you, able and eager to do any kinds of work. They are expert at processes requiring painstaking and precision. They are as good as men at hard jobs like welding or operating electric cranes. Many women can run a drilling machine as well as an egg beater. Many take to riveting like a duck to water. We have in this country about 4 million women in war jobs, less than a fourth of all our women workers. But the number in war employment is steadily growing. In the post-war period, there will be a scaling down of munition industries. We shall have to readjust large group of workers, both men and women. Many women will automatically withdraw from the labor force, but millions of our women will still have to earn their living and support dependents. Women by the thousands will still have to replace men, the men who come back maimed or fail to return from the combat. Special post-war plans must be made to meet the needs of women who, as unknown heroes of the labor front, have made their contributions and sacrifices too for victory and democracy.
The coming of peace will work no unemployment hardship on you. You women have been employed because the armed forces have called your husbands, brothers, or sons. For each of these men who had been with us as long as 6 months, we are setting aside a trust fund of $50 a month. Each returning serviceman will get his job back when this war is won. And you women and girls will go home, back to being housewives and mothers again, as you promised to do when you came to work for us. If all industries would adopt this simple policy of taking care of their own employees, there would be no serious post-war problem of unemployment.